realized that just having a education or degree is not enough, right? And I'm grateful that I realized that at a very early age. Skill sets are more important.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I don't know anybody, but I can put this on a credit card and learn it.
Yeah.
And then maybe I can do something with it later.
Yeah.
And those skill sets kind of bundle up. That's how I got into digital marketing. And that one client turned into two, turned into three.
Yeah.
That helped me pay my bills.
Yeah.
And then I enrolled into the MBA program. I was one of the youngest guy into the executive MBA program.
Okay.
And I never gave up those skill sets. So
Yeah.
I keep improving my skill set over the years as I'm still going through the MBA program, still hustling. I'm doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, from digital marketing to MLM, and that's when I got my first mentor.
Yeah.
And then he was like, yo, you got something when it comes to LinkedIn. You need to figure it out, figure it out, figure it out.
Yeah.
And when I graduated from my MBA, I'm like, you know what, maybe I should focus on this.
Yeah.
And that's how it all started, man.
Gotcha. So, for one, a big takeaway from that in the beginning of what you was just sharing there is you pretty much, like you say, you know, living off your savings, credit cards, and you made an investment in yourself in terms of your skill sets.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, that's sacrifice and taking a risk as well. Yeah, that's huge. That's huge because a lot of people that want to get into business at times don't thoroughly understand. You know, you got at times.
You got to be able to bring value to the marketplace.
Right. Exactly.
So if you don't have value, how do you bring value? You got to invest in yourself.
Yep.
And sometimes it doesn't matter. Like, you don't know how much that investment gonna pay forward.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know learning how to leverage LinkedIn was gonna help me build a company that did over 7 figures. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All I did was, I'm gonna learn this and
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure something else out. Because God brings stuff in your way that you don't see the plan until years later.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it was a blessing in disguise, man. Just invest in myself while, you know, I was unemployed and trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Gotcha. And in terms of your company, in terms of digital marketing, you grew it pretty big.
Yeah, I think I got lucky because I was not only around the right people, but I keep investing in myself, right?
Yeah.
I didn't just, because when I first started it, it was something I was doing part-time.
Yeah.
Trying to figure it out again.
Yeah.
And then I look at my, you know, I started like in 2013. I look at 2013, I was kind of messing around with it. But end of 2014, I looked at my bank statement, I look at my P&L, I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah.
I made more money doing this than I was doing all these other stuff. So then 2015, I made a commitment to myself. I said, I'll never work for anybody else. And then that year, my first year in business, by myself, not even know anything about pricing, I was charging $500.
We all started there.
I was charging $30 at the time. I made 60 grand that year. To me, that was the best 60 grand ever.
Yeah.
Because it came from my sweats equity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Of actually putting in the work. And I was like, wow, I made $60,000.
Yeah.
And then the next year, I made my first 6 figures.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, if I can do 6, I can do 7.
There you go.
You see what I mean? Like, it's just those steps, right?
Yeah.
Taking those steps by steps, it create belief, it create progress, and it helps you get to your goal. And then, you know, we started growing. What really helped us grow really fast is around that time period where content started becoming a thing.
Yeah.
And then I was just putting a lot of content out there, but I was also doing a lot of networking.
There you go.
A lot of people, when they tell you get in a room, they don't tell you what room to get into.
Yeah.
They don't tell you.
As well.
Right? You got to get in the right room.
Exactly.
They don't tell you what do you do when you get in a room.
Right.
Building those relationships, and then how do you follow up? Because the relationship starts in a room, but it doesn't stays in a room. It's that continuous follow-up connections.
Yeah.
Right? Like we met, you
Yeah,
know, in a
absolutely.
room
Absolutely.
years ago,
Yep.
and now we're sitting here having
Yep.
this podcast.
Absolutely.
But that didn't come about by just, you know, that one time,
Right.
right? But a lot of people would just get in a room, but nobody's following up.
I agree.
I remember
agree.
when I decided my first full year in business, I joined the local chamber. I'll go to a chamber event.
Yeah.
I'll meet 20 people. I'll take all their business cards. I'll go back to my little office space, which was Panera Bread at the time.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
take out my phone. I call every single person from that list. I email every person on that list. I will sit down in Panera Bread
Yeah.
from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. I'll meet every single person
Yeah.
from that list.
Yeah.
And guess what? Someday, none of them became clients.
Right.
But guess what happened to them?
Go ahead.
A couple months later, I'll get a random email. Julbert meet this guy meets Julbert. Julbert can help you with this.
There you go.
And then all of a sudden, you get referrals
Yep.
from it. But the referrals didn't stop there, right?
Yeah.
So I kept building this relationship with the people that built referral for me. And then maybe a year later, you know what? I need your help.